I'll give that recording access. Earlier I got once, but now it was revoked. I don't have it right now. The password will be the same as administrator. Copy it. Okay, this is the repository, right? We should wait for a few minutes to get it started in the background. So it will have few services which will start in the background. Okay, we should wait for a few minutes, like people are joining. We should wait for a few minutes, like 3 to 5 minutes, to get the services started for this repository, like informatica. Just close this one and connect to the database. Password will be the admin. And in exam it might change, so go through the document and then come here. So it might change. We don't know what it will be in exam. And now we should create the table, right? For that I'll be taking the columns from here itself. I'll simply copy everything from here. So it was the easiest way to create that table. Create table super underscore store. So make sure you give the correct name. If you give the incorrect name, our session, like your what you were having hands on won't be passed actually. Like all the naming conventions are very important. Okay. So make sure you put commas everywhere. Creating the table in this way takes less time. Okay. Create table superstore. Carefully super underscore store. Okay. So we created the table and now we can get the table details here. Is my screen visible to everyone?
No.
Guys, is my screen visible?
You need to reshare it, Vijay.
Okay, I lost it. Okay. Yeah, let me reshare it once. Now it was visible?
Yes.
You missed the part like how I created the table. You're like you got it right? How to create the table?
Yeah, it's okay. Please proceed.
Okay, so like it was a simple way to create, like it was the easiest way to create the table. It will be quick, and so we need, like, we can check the table from here. It will be appear. Okay, and we will be loading the data from here itself. Load data, tasks, desktop, projects. I'm saying these all like we can do it quick, like in like, so how we can do it quick. And still some people like don't know it clearly, so that I'm just saying it for everyone who don't know this, like some might be doing in different way, so it will be the like quick way to do that. Import the data over and go to the data. Okay, leave it, and we'll connect to that repository. Copy it and paste it. Click on enter. You need to create a folder here. Go to the folder and create. Make sure the name should be correct. Super underscore store. Most of the times you should copy the name from here. That will be correct actually, because if we did any mistake in the name, so our hands-on window, like it won't get 100%. Again, we need to backtrack where we had the issue, and again it will take lots of time. Okay, make sure you copy the name from here and paste it there. Okay. You can see Superstore, click on OK. It will create a folder. After that, you can go to the designer, which is the next step, which is the next tool in Informatica. So once you go to the designer, you can close the repository. The task in the repository is completed. Okay. Come to the designer, open the folder, and you can see the folder is not visible here, and we didn't get the environment here. If we didn't get that, right click and click on open. We'll get it here. Okay, we need to get this environment to create this tables and mappings. I hope this is clear to everyone.
Yes.
Okay, let's go the next part. We need to we got the table in database and we should get it in informatica. Okay, so this is a task we need to perform to connect informatica with database. Let me perform that task. If you go through the document, you will find everything which I'm doing actually. Oh, sorry, it's a table. Go to the sources, import from database. Here you can see sample informatica MongoDB. But we should have Oracle wire protocol because our database is Oracle. Click on add. And here you will find Oracle wire protocol. Just finish and it will ask for details. So make sure you will check and type the details based on that which was given in the document. Okay, so you can test the connection if all the details are correct or not by giving the username and password here. Or else simply we can go and click on OK. And we need to get the username here. First change the protocol here. Done. And admin. Okay, we connected to database. Here you can see we had the table superstore. If you click on S and U, it will go to take to the table superstore. Okay, and click on OK, it will import the table to Informatica. Hope you got it. How to import the tables from database to Informatica?
Yes, Vijay.
Okay, so we'll go with the next step, which is creating the target table. So first you need to go to the document and see what is the target table we need to create. Here you can see sample output, remaining columns and additional with customer ID name. So it was saying remaining columns and additional with customer ID name. Okay, first you need to check it here. And you don't have any output here, like I had given only one thing. So you wanted to know what are the columns in the table. They are saying remaining columns plus customer ID name, but we should verify it. Okay. Okay, let's go with the operations. So whenever you read these operations, you'll get to know what to perform. You need to remove duplicates, filter records, extracting and concatenate to create an identifier and store it in the new column, customer ID name column. And here you can say drop columns, customer ID and customer name. Okay. So you need to drop these columns and add a new column in a target table. Remaining everything will be similar, like same. Hope you got it. How to find it out?
Yes, Vijay.
Okay. Yeah. Let's go with the next task. Like next step, go to the designer, and you can find the source table in this source folder. You can find it right, Superstore, which we imported from database. You can simply drag it here to the target designer, which is target designer. Let me explain you these things. The first one is the source analyzer, and the second one is the target designer. Third one is the transformation developer, and fourth one we don't require, and fifth one is the mapping designer. Okay, so we will be performing using source, task, and mapping. Transformation, we won't use it actually, but I'll tell you how we will create the transformations. Okay, that was a basic understanding about this designer, Power Center designer. Yeah, I hope I hope you understood about this, like what is Power Center designer. Okay, let me proceed with the next step. We need to edit this table. So we need to edit the name of the table, which is given here. So first of clear data. Just try to copy this table name from here and try to rename and paste it here. Simple. Okay, and in In the columns, we need to remove these two columns, customer ID and customer name. So to remove that column, select that column, and here you can find scissor symbol, cut a column from the table, cut it. Okay, and I am changing this column to customer ID name. Of deleting this and creating a new column, I'm just renaming this column to customer ID name. Okay.
Vijay, sorry to interrupt. How you brought the source table superstore into target just by drag and drop?
You can see the source folder here, right?
Okay.
Just simply select it, drag it, drop it.
Okay, by opening the target folder.
Yeah, in the target designer. In the target designer, we can do that.
Got it.
Like we are creating a target table, so we are importing the same table which is similar. Like the source is similar to the target, right? Yes. Who is this?
I'm sorry to interrupt. I have a query.
Yes.
If we drag and drop the superstore, that is our source table, into target column, when we run the job, will that same table will be created in the Oracle as well?
No.
All right.
Here we had the source table here, right? Which is source table, which will be available in the source analyze and source folders. And we are creating a table target.
All right.
Okay. Here source table can be target table, but target table cannot be source table. Like we cannot import target table to the source analyzer. We cannot import like this. We can import only source to target.
So when I run the job and if I have to look at the data that has been going into my target table, how can I view my data after my job runs? Like just to check if the data is correct or not. If we do not create a table in DB.
Let me tell you first, like I couldn't get your query. Sorry, you're asking if the table is not in the database, how the data will be going into the table.
No. Since this target table is not in our database, right? This is just
that will be the next step.
The next part. Just wait a minute. I'll be going to explain the next part. Just wait a minute. Okay. I'm just explaining each by each, and we are running out of time, right? So, please wait for your queries. If it is important, you can ask. Otherwise, you'll be wasting our time. Okay. Okay. So after creating this table and like after dragging it from here, we'll be renaming the columns and we'll be like changing what are the columns we require. It should be in the target table. After doing everything, simply select this table. You can see it was highlighted with a border. Go to the targets, and here you get an option generate and execute SQL. Okay, click on it, and you need to connect to database first. Check if the Oracle Web Protocol is available there, or else pick it up and give the details. So it will connect, and we need to check these options, select the tables because we selected this table only, and this should be created. And we need to select this create table, and remaining all can be empty. Okay. Click on generate and execute. Here you can see SQL statement processed and what is the table it was created. You can see table was created. If you wanted to verify, I can go to the database, refresh the tables, and you can find the table here, superstore clean data. You can find the table without any data. Got it? This was the easy way to create the target table. Like normally we need to write a query and then we need to execute in the SQL. It will take a lot of time, but we don't have time in the exam, right? So it's the easiest way to do that. Okay, hope you got it. Hope your query is resolved.
Yes, Vijay. Thank you.
Okay, we'll go with the flow, and so after creating the target table, we need to create the mapping. So I'm going in the flow, creating the source, creating the target, then go for the mapping because we require both of them to place in the mapping. It was the process actually to follow. Okay, after creating the mapping, we'll drag source, and it can be like it will come with a source qualifier. So for every source, by default source qualifier will be there. Okay. Yeah, let's go back to this and read the operations. So what they are saying, remove duplicates from the dataset to ensure data integrity. Okay, and filter records where countries, United States, to focus on domestic orders. Okay, and after that, extract numeric part from customer ID to standardize customer identification. So we need to remove this part from this customer ID column. Okay. So to perform that task, we need expression transformation, which will help us to edit any column or create any new columns in our table. Okay. So these are all the transformations which we can use. This is a transformation bar actually. Okay. We'll see all the transformations here. Okay. So till there, till A to Z, just go through all these transformations after this session and just know about the basics of the transformations, because we don't know what transformations they'll ask in the final exam. Okay, make sure you go all these transformations about all these and just know about them, how to use it and how to create them and everything. Okay, so you can get that in YouTube, or else you can get it in informatica website or ChatGPT. Anything you can do. Okay. So the next step is to create the expression transformation. Click on the FX, which is the expression transformation. If you keep on it, you'll get to know expression transformation. If you click on it, it will get highlighted and you can simply create how much size you wanted. Okay. Then we will be dragging all the columns from this source. Select the first column and click shift and select the last one. Drag and drop. To create all the columns, it will connect to the source qualifier. Okay. So to perform the first two tasks, these two tasks can be done via SQL query, or it can be done via transformations itself. The first one requires sorter transformation, and the second one requires filter transformation. Okay. So, but we can do these both in source qualifier itself. Let me tell you how to do that. Okay. So after opening the source qualifier, you can see properties here. Ports is nothing but the columns and what are the properties of the columns. And the ports is the properties will contain more details about the source qualifier. So in this source qualifier properties, you can see a SQL query here, and you can see a drop down here. Okay. So by opening this drop down, you can open a SQL editor and you can write a SQL query here. Got it? So we
Can you repeat how you open that SQL editor?
Yeah, just if you you can say SQL query here, right? Write to it. There will be empty box. If you click on that box, you can get an arrow. Click on that arrow. Okay. If you double click, if you click on that arrow, it will open. Okay.
Okay, got it.
So inside that, you can write a SQL query. Okay. So you can write a query, but that should be based on the ports which you dragged from this source qualifier. Let me show you. All the times you can't get that query option. If I delete all the connections and it was not connected, go to the properties there. If you try to generate a query here, it will show this error. Cannot generate query because there are no valid fields projected from the source qualifier. So if you want to generate a query here, it should be connected to the next transformation or to the next target itself. What will be the next? Okay. So then only we can generate the SQL. We can simply connect them, open it, properties, go here, and you can generate the query. See, it was generated a query based on the ports which it dragged and dropped in the expression. So all the columns it selected. So but distinct, I'll be simply writing this distinct. Okay, and there's a filter condition. Can anyone tell me what is the filter condition?
Country is United
Just select US state.
Okay, do you want me to? Yeah, someone said something.
Country is United States.
Okay. Please make sure you give the correct name, everything correct. You can verify by copying this query and pasting it in the database itself.
And why did you give distinct?
to get the distinct records. Like we had to perform an operation like remove the duplicates from the dataset to ensure the data integrity. Okay, to remove the distinct like to get only distinct records, I gave distinct.
Okay.
Okay, so these two operations we can perform from here itself. By without like otherwise we should take a sorter transformation and a filter transformation, which requires more time. Okay, so we just got the query and we just got the data, and we had next two operations, which is extract numeric part and concatenate these two things. Okay, so these two things can be done using the expression editor by creating new two ports, like two new ports. You can create a port by clicking on this symbol, like which is adding new port. It's a column, like it's a new column which you're creating. Okay, this is to add, this is to delete. Hope you understood. So I'm adding a new column which is a string, leave it, and which is not an input and which is not also output. Okay, so is IOV, right? So the I means input and O means output and V means variable port. Okay, so if it was output, like it can be an input when it was taken from the transform, like and it was taken from the source or else transformation ahead of it. So then it can be taken as input. It will be by default will come as input. Okay, if I try to remove that input, the connection will be removed for it from that source. Okay, so the output. So we are taking this as input and sending it to the target as output. Okay, hope you understood that input, output, and variable. The variable is nothing but we'll create a variable like which we can use in that expression, and we won't be sending it to the target table. So the next step is to drop the customer ID name and like customer ID and customer name. To do that, we will be just unticking the output. So it won't be the output. We can't see it as an output. Okay. The next step is to like we forgot these two steps to perform, which is extracting and concatenating. Let me show you how to do that. So I just created a new custody column, which is a variable, and I will be writing a like an expression in it based on a function which is substring. You can see data cleansing, and in this you can find substring. Okay. Let me show you why I'm doing that. We had a customer ID called DB-21520. Okay. If you simply take it, so what it was asking, we need to extract this numeric part from this customer ID. So to do that, I am using substring function to do the task. Okay, substring of, we go to the ports, which is customer ID, comma 4, comma 5. So why I taken 4 and 5? If you click on this substring, you can see character as character from which we need to do that, and M as numeric and N as numeric. Okay, so return n number of characters and beginning at the character M. So I should begin at the character 4 and I should return total 5 characters. So my task is completed. Okay, it will ignore the first 3 characters of all the customer IDs. Hope you understood, and click on validate. If there was any error in this expression, it will throw an error. Otherwise, it will validate successfully. Okay, hope you got why I took this substring to perform the operation, right? Yes, please respond like if you understood or not.
Going good. So can you show it in another way, like if there was variable string length, then what expression we could have used?
We could use replace string also, which we can use replace string as well.
Okay.
Okay, like whoever knows it better, they can use like how they can do that. Like, so currently I'm using this function to complete the task, which is working in my case. Okay, if anyone knows any other way to do that, they can follow that way, no issues. Okay, so the next thing is to concatenate the two columns, which is customer ID and customer name, the new customer ID and customer name. For that, I'm taking a new column and I'm taking it as an output, not an input. It was only output. Open that editor, just go there, double click on this, and you'll get that there, and double pipes, hyphen, double pipe. And next, customer name. If you click on validate, it will validate. So we are concatenating using pipe symbol and we are using hyphen in between. So to concatenate these two, ID and the customer name. Okay. So this can be done using any other function like concat and any other thing. I am using in this way. Hope you understood. Is it clear, everyone? Can I go further?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm dragging the target table, like how I drag the source table. I drag the target table to the definition, and from here I'll be connecting these columns from here to here. So I had a way to do that. Instead of selecting everything, and I can simply right click, auto link by name. When both the names are matching, I can do that operation. Simply click on it, drag it, drop it. So it will connect based on that, based on the name. Okay, and here we forgot one thing, like for the new field, we forgot to give the name, new customer ID name. So it was not connected to the customer ID name. Okay, I'll simply drag and connect it. Okay, if we get the same name which is here, it will automatically connect like how it connected all the other columns. Okay, and here you can see customer ID and customer name, the output was not there, like we cannot take it to the target. If it was there was an arrow here, it can be go output, otherwise it can't be. So we just disable the output for that. Hope you understood.
Yeah.
Guys, please let me know. Okay. Okay, the next task is to create a workflow and a session. To do that, I'm simply copying the workflow name and we should do the operation in the workflow manager. Open it and here you'll find the folders and you'll find 3 tabs here, like 3 tools here, which is task developer and workload and workflow. So using this task developer, we can create a session which we should create, and using the workflow designer, we can create the workflow. Okay. So first I'm creating the workflow. After clicking this workflow designer, you will get the workflow option on the top. Click on it, create, and you will be able to create the workflow from here itself. Okay. You created a workflow and you can see it in the workflow folder. To create the task, you can go to this task developer and you can create it from the task developer. Click on the tasks, create, and give the task name, create, and here it will ask for the mapping which you should associate with it. Okay, so you had given that a session name, session clean data. So you should associate map clean data to it. Okay, make sure you won't associate other mappings with that. It will cause an issue. So you created this thing and you will find it in the sessions folder. Just go to the workflow designer, drag it to here. You can see the link symbol here, like you can see link, the last third option, link task. Okay, you can see this link task option, right? Click on that and you'll get a plus symbol like that. Click on start and like click and drag. Don't click and leave. Click and drag it to the session clean data. So it will connect both of them. Okay. If you just click and drag, it won't work. If you just click, it won't work. You should click and drag it. Just click and drag. Don't leave that. Okay, after coming here, you can leave it. It was connected. Something I forgot to do, which we should do it right now, is to add the connection. Okay, I hope you can see this thing, create connection in the workflow manager. So after opening the workflow manager, we need to create this connection first. So after that, we should perform the other tasks. Okay. To perform this connection, we will go to the connections on the top, go to relational, and add a new connection, which is Oracle. Okay, and username is system, and password would be admin and XE. Click on OK and click on close. And we had created the connection before creating this session. So we should open this session, go to the mappings, and here you can find the connection details here, connections, right? So here it was nothing. If we created it earlier, it will automatically take that connection. But we created the connection after we created this session. Okay, so that if we created like that, we should go open here and we should select the connection which we created right now for both source and target. You can see how I selected. So if you forgot to do that, you can do in this way, and now you can save this session. Okay, still had something errors. Okay. I save it.
In the session, it also asks to add like the type in the target, like load type to normal, right?
Here itself, right?
Yeah.
Let me show that to you. So you're asking about this thing, load type,
Yes.
bulk and normal. Okay, this thing you can leave it for now, but if it was defined in this document, then you can change it like, so if it was bulk, it won't allow if a table has having a primary key, like if a table is having a primary key and foreign key defined, then the load will fail if the load type is bulk. Right? If we don't have any primary keys, then the bulk mode will work as usual. No issues. So if in the exam, if they had given that option, we should change it to normal. Okay? If they had asked us to create the primary keys of foreign keys, then we should change this load type to normal. Okay? So remaining all you can leave it, and you can enable this truncate target table option, which is a good practice. So whenever you didn't get the correct output, you'll try to run the workflow multiple times, right? So at that time, every time it will truncate the table and it will load the data freshly. Otherwise, it will load the data continuously without truncating the table. Like the table will be having multiple rows, which should not. Okay. So this option will help you to do that. After that, you can click on apply. You had connections, everything. Still you are facing this issue. Okay, you are facing this issue. No, but you're facing this one. You change the connections. But Oracle and connections are Oracle. Okay, but still you are facing that issue. Okay, let me close this and connections we had given you correct Oracle candidate and Oracle system and admin. We cannot test the connection here, give the correct details, otherwise it will fail at the time of loading the data. Actually, it should update, but it is not updating. Anyway, we'll ignore and we'll create a new session. Yeah.
Vijay, just means open it session in mappings.
Okay.
In mappings and connections. And for source and target, selected relational.
It was already selected.
Down.
No, you're asking to select it here.
Yes.
Should take the variable, no? No, still the issue persists.
I would suggest to remove the task 330 that
Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Yeah,
Just
that's what
go
I'm
to
going to do.
super clean data in section.
What? I didn't get you what you said. Okay, there was one problem here. If you try to create a session like in this task developer, if you try to delete that, first it can delete, but if you try to create the same task once again, it will say it was already taken. Okay, so make sure don't make these kind of mistakes while creating that. Okay, currently I had one more option to create the task. I can directly create it in the workflow itself. So I'm going with this option currently. Both are valid. I'll be linking this task. Control S. You can see there is no error for now. Okay. We can simply go and run this workflow. Start workflow from task, or else you can start workflow itself. It will open the monitor and you can see it was running and it was successful. So once it was successful, the workflow will also be successful. You can see it in the task view. Okay. So whenever it was failed, you can right click on this session, which was the latest one, and you can get the run properties. Just close this and expand this one. We'll get the details. If you have any error, we'll get the details, or we'll get the current, like 990 rows were taken from source and 990 were loaded into the target. Okay. Now we'll go and check our table. Do we have any data here? As you can see, it was concatenated with that ID and the name. Okay. Got it, guys? Any doubts in that?
Perfect.
Okay. Please make sure you don't make mistakes while creating a session in the task developer, because you can't create with a name again. And naming convention is very important in doing this hands-on, because they'll consider that only. Based on the names only, they'll validate that things. So be careful while doing that. Okay. So this is the flow, how to create that a mapping and a workflow. I hope you guys understood how to do that. Right?
Yes.
Okay, so I'll explain quick about the remaining tasks, so we can complete within the time. Okay, if you have any doubts, you can ask me. I hope you understood how to create this mapping, how to create the transformations and everything, right? How to create this flow. Right? Everything will be based on the same flow. So all the tasks will be performed in the same flow with different transformations. Okay, hopefully there are no doubts.
No, we can move on to the next task.
Okay.